Sarah Ferguson makes a major social media change after her ex, Prince Andrew, gives up his royal title. For days after her ex-husband, Prince Andrew, announced he would no longer use his royal titles, such as Duke of York, his ex-wife has updated her social media to remove references to her Duchess of York title. Sarah Ferguson is said to be on the brink of a nervous breakdown. After 40 years of carrying the title Duchess of York, she's lost it along with her sense of stability, her public reputation, and perhaps even her family's unity. Those close to her described scenes of chaos and heartbreak at Royal Lodge, the Windsor mansion she still shares with her ex-husband, Prince Andrew. When news broke that both she and Andrew would no longer use their titles, insiders say Fergie completely unraveled. She had begged him not to do it, but King Charles had made it clear, the time for indulgence was over. What followed was reportedly one of the most emotional and explosive family meetings in modern royal history. According to royal sources, on Monday, a deeply distressed Princess Beatrice arrived at Royal Lodge to see her parents, her face pale, her hair tied back hastily, her expression hollow. The family was in crisis, and the walls of the once Grand York household were echoing with shouting, tears, and disbelief. Let's talk about Fergie and what's going to happen with her. The reports are that King Charles has vowed to protect Beatrice and Eugenie, whereas Fergie, Sarah Ferguson, faces life without her title, Duchess of York. Of course, she agreed not to use it after Prince Andrew relinquished his, Duke title. Inside, Sarah Ferguson was said to have melted down completely. When Andrew told her she would be losing her title, she reportedly began wailing, crying that he shouldn't do it. For nearly 4 decades, the word Duchess had been her lifeline, a brand, a source of income, and a symbol of the royal life she never wanted to let go of. But now that identity had been ripped away. A friend later described the scene as chaotic. Andrew, blindsided by his brother's pressure, had agreed to release a statement renouncing his titles without even consulting his daughters. When Beatrice and Eugenie found out, they were stunned. Eugenie, too distraught to attend, stayed away from the family meeting altogether. The summit wasn't a happy occasion, one insider told the Daily Mail. The family, once a strong unit, is fractured. Whilst we've been on air, Sarah Ferguson at the weekend, outed by Daphne Barak actually in the Mail, and, she was dropped earlier yesterday by Julia's House, which is a charity. Further 5 in the last couple of hours, including the Teenage Cancer Trust. Outside, the public could see the toll. Beatrice was later photographed leaving Royal Lodge in her black Range Rover, looking visibly shaken. Just a day earlier, she'd been spotted at a playground with her 2 daughters, on the phone, looking distressed. Reports say she had indicated to a friend that she couldn't bring herself to read the Sunday papers. Witnesses described her as poleaxed by the latest wave of allegations engulfing her father. Because while Sarah's email scandal had already destroyed her reputation, new revelations about Prince Andrew's alleged behavior were making things even worse. Prince Andrew continues to deny all allegations against him, but the news cycle is in motion. In the past week, emails from Andrew have emerged, raising further questions about his conduct and how he continues to live in the 30-room Royal Lodge despite the controversy. And I think we need to know why Andrew is not paying any rent. And where did he get a total of £8 million in 2005? Because we pay for it. Well, don't think the Mail are reporting today that he did not get a major inheritance from the Queen or the Queen Mother. Even his daughter's assets are now under scrutiny. Royal officials are reportedly pushing for an ethics check on Beatrice and Eugenie's investments to ensure nothing traces back to their father's questionable business associates. It's a humiliating situation for 2 women who have done nothing wrong but can't escape the shadow of their parents' scandals. According to royal expert Ingrid Seward, giving up their titles might be the only way for Beatrice and Eugenie to protect their reputations. She told the Daily Mail, it would give them freedom from their parents, stop them being tarred with the same brush, and show that they want to make their own way in the world. But such a move would come at a cost. The sisters were raised in privilege, surrounded by luxury and royal entitlement. From birth, they watched their parents turn royal life into a lucrative enterprise deals, endorsements, paid magazine spreads. Even as toddlers, their images were sold to the press for hundreds of thousands of pounds. I grew up with an incredible mom as a children's author, so stories really created that sense of imagination. Over the years, the girls saw the financial benefits of their status firsthand. Expensive gifts, lavish trips, and introductions to wealthy businessmen. Some of those connections, as it turns out, would later prove dangerous. And though the sisters have since built successful lives of their own, the ghosts of their parents' choices continue to haunt them. Beatrice, now a private equity analyst and CEO of her own firm, has become well connected in the Gulf states. She's been photographed at major investment conferences in Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, and Qatar, often attending private events with influential royals and business leaders. Her company, BEQ, saw its value multiply several times last year. Eugenie, an art gallery director, has also been a regular face in the Middle East, frequently appearing at cultural events and philanthropic gatherings. Your favorite duo, the king's nieces, Beatrice and Eugenie, were on the cover of a magazine this week, and they were described as the royal family's secret weapons. Did you write that headline? I have to say it's a bit of a journalistic cliché, I think. Secret weapons that we may have to stop. There's no such thing. Both sisters have benefited immensely from their royal names. Doors open easily when one is a princess of the House of Windsor. But now, royal officials are quietly concerned that their global dealings could one day become another liability for the monarchy. The palace, already scarred by scandal, cannot afford another crisis. Meanwhile, Sarah Ferguson, once the proud mother and ever-loyal ex-wife, is watching the life she built collapse and does not appear to be handling it well. Her breakdown has been described by friends as complete. Between her recent cancer battle, her loss of charitable patronages, and now the humiliation of losing her royal title, she's emotionally shattered. Her sister Jane has flown from Australia to support her, and her closest friends say she's barely eating, rarely leaving Royal Lodge, and crying constantly. Her losing Duchess of York, it disproves that the York brand is totally toxic within the royal circles. And yes, I have read that Charles will somewhat try and ring-fence Beatrice and Eugenie as his, nieces, because they shouldn't pay for the sins of the parents. She's been described as hysterical, panicked, and haunted by the thought of losing everything. Those same friends say she feels betrayed by Andrew for agreeing to the title loss without her consent, by the charities that abandoned her after the email scandal, and by the royal institution that has finally cut her off completely. Her daughters, meanwhile, are trying to hold their own lives together amid the chaos. Beatrice and Eugenie remain close, united in what insiders call their tripod bond. But both are privately devastated by the endless waves of disgrace hitting their family name. Even their husbands have reportedly urged them to keep a low profile and distance themselves from Royal Lodge, fearing the fallout could damage their own reputations. Behind palace doors, the king is said to be resolute. There will be no reversal of Andrew's decision. The Yorks, once seen as a quirky, loving royal unit, are now viewed as a liability to the crown. And so, as the dust settles from that emotional family summit, Sarah Ferguson finds herself trapped grieving her lost title, her lost respect, and perhaps even her lost family unity. For years, she called herself the Phoenix, the woman who always rises again. But this time, the ashes feel heavier. At 65, she faces her darkest hour. The royal world that once embraced her now turns away. Her daughters' futures are uncertain. And as her public life unravels, those who know her best fear she may finally break. Because this isn't just another scandal. It's the emotional collapse of a woman who once believed she could survive anything. And after nearly 40 years as the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson may be facing the one thing she can't come back from: the end of her royal identity, her family's unity, and her grip on the life she once fought so hard to keep. What do you think? Will Sarah Ferguson come back from this? Or are we watching her public life crumble once and for all? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy videos like this one, make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next one.